Assalamu alaikum. So the lesson today is about polynomials. So we are going to learn today the definition of power and root and the relationship between power and root. So let's start with the definition. So what is a power? A power, in fact, is a countable product of identical expression. So exactly what is it? So power is a countable product of identical expressions. So those identical expressions are called roots. So notation. So we have A is a countable product. That means I have a product which I can count the factor, and we can change this expression by that new notation, which is we have A, and above A we have a number which is the number of identical factor. So A can be any real number and N can be a whole number or a positive integers. So where A is a real number and A positive and N a positive integer. So how we name that notation, so how we call it. So this is called nth power of A, so called nth power of A. A is called nth root of the power. So some book they use the word base, but I prefer to use n root because both of them are related. So n is called exponent. So there's one thing I want you to know before I move on is that the power notation we have, it's not a number, is an expression. So this power notation is not a number. It has a value, yes, but it's not a number. It's just an expression. It's not a number. It's an expression. So let me show you an example. So suppose I have 625. 625 is the number. So if I want to write down that number in terms of power notation, so I will use that notation, which is n equal 4. So 625 is fourth power of 5. So you see, instead to write down this, which is taking me like 3 spots, so this will take me only like 1 spot, and we have an index above, which is 4, which is the exponent. So the value of that power is 625, which means 625 is the power, but this is how we denote that power. Okay, the second notation I want to talk about is the root notation. So we use that symbol to express the root notation. So we use that symbol to express nth root of a number, to express nth root of a number. And the symbol just by without the number, so the symbol by itself without any number is called radical sign. And with number, it's become nth root of that number. So keep in mind that inside of the radical sign, we have a power. So this is, let me put it as a note. Inside of radical sign is a power of certain number. So inside which means, so if I have the n root, so here will give me the root, and what's inside is a power of that root, which is the n power of that root. So in other words, we have power, so the n power of the root. So that's the idea behind. And again, this notation number uh, nth root of a number or of. So let me show you an example. So 5 is the fourth root of 625. You see I represent 5 with that new form which is involved the radical sign notation. So 5 in fact is the fourth root of 625. And as you know that 625 is the fourth power of 5, which means that the inside of the radical we have a power. And this is just another notation of that value, which means that this is an expression. The number is 5 by itself, but this is just an expression that represents 5 in terms of fourth power, or fourth root, sorry, in terms of fourth root. So the third note I want to talk about is if n equal to, so we don't use second power of or second root of. Instead of those two words, we use one word which is called square, either square root or a number squared. So for example, if n equal to, so I can say 25 is 5 squared. So how we read this? 25 is 5 squared. Or I can say 5 is square root of 25, and we don't put the 2 here because we assume that radical sign without a number is second root. So 5 is square root of 25. So this is for n equal 2, and for n equal 3 we don't use third root, we use cube root or cube without using power. Third power we use cubed. So for n equals 3, so instead to say 8 is third power of 2, so we just say third power of 2, we just say 8 is 2 cubed. So 8 is 2 cubed, and 2 is cube root of 8. 2 is cube root of 8. So this is the note about this is the fourth or fifth note, I believe. This is the first, so this is the fourth note. So the notation of nth root is, so if I have nth root of a number, so suppose I have okay, let me use that shape. So nth root of a number, so I just use this notation, so I put that number and I put 1 over n as exponent. So this is mean nth root of that number. So example, so 2 is cube root of 8, which is in terms of exponent notation will be 8 with exponent 1/3. 4 is square root of 16, which is 16 with exponent 1/2 or half. So in general, if I have root and root of b with exponent n, which is a power, so we just put b and we have put the fraction m over n. So this is the general notation, how we transform from n root to exponent notation. So for example, let me give you one example. So if I have fifth root of 3 square, so it's going to be 3 to the exponent 2 over 5. So that's the idea behind the lesson today. And I hope you got the idea and the relationship between the power and the root. So please, if you have any comment about the lesson or any comment that will help me improve my way of teaching, please do so. And thank you for watching the video. Assalamu alaikum.